FPL Familia, welcome back to another Team Week selection video. Hope we all had a good Game Week 33 plus. Hopefully you did a little better than I did. We'll go into that in a bit. I'm rocking the bucket hat today, hoping that gives me some good vibes going into the playoffs for my mini league. But I already made my transfers for Game Week 34 plus, and I was stressing out about it super hard last night. And I said, Sean, relax, just do it, get it over with, live stress free. And then I woke up in the morning and saw what I did, and I'm stressing out even worse than I was before. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So my Game Week 33 plus, I'm sitting at 48 points with Son and Aurier to go. I'm expecting Son and Aurier to get maybe 4D points together. That'd be sweet. But I'm happy with my week right now. It wasn't the best week. I had a couple players blank, but that's FPL for you, some ups, some downs. De Bruyne came in like the 58th minute, which I was upset because I had James Justin with 6 on the bench, and De Bruyne even looked rusty. He didn't look his normal self that game. But going into some highlights, Bruno Fernandez with 15 points. He even gave the penalty. He could have had more if he didn't give the penalty to Rashford, but as an FPL player who captained Rashford, could have been happier about that decision. Fernandez looks like the player that United fans have been hyping for the past year and a half of transfer windows. He looked great. And Salah, Alexander-Arnold, they both escaped with 6 points. But I am concerned about Liverpool, and I will get into that a bit later. But they did worry me a little that game, or even the past couple of games. But they still were able to grab 6 points. That late assist, I was hyped. Jimenez, some people were scared about him because he's blanked in back-to-back weeks. But FPL is a long-term game. He's going to go up. He's going to go down. I know you want to get them while they're hot, but I still trust Jimenez that he'll come in and score in the next few weeks. But let's go ahead and jump into my actual team selection. So for my back line, I'm going to stay the same. In goal, I'm going to keep the scored more than Sterling and Aguero in FPL this season, Nick Pope. He's just a set-and-forget kind of keeper. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's so dangerous. Even as Liverpool worry me, I still think that he is a solid player to own, especially at only like a 7.5 price that he's at right now for me. I'm also going to keep Doherty. It was his first non-return in 9 weeks. I can't complain that he only got 2 points, and he's going up against Sheffield. I think that is a very capable opportunity to get a clean sheet. Sheffield do not scare me going forward. Now, if you look at my midfield, you'll instantly know why I'm stressing out over these next couple game weeks. Mo Salah is no longer on my team, and I hope the guy I'm playing in my mini league isn't watching this video, but he is gone. Now, here's the thing. For the past 2 game weeks, Liverpool have not looked the same. I'd even argue for the past 7 or 8 game weeks, they've kind of gotten by off of talent, and they haven't looked as good as they have for the past year and a half. But here's the thing. I was holding on to Salah hoping that he'd be motivated by the golden boot and he would continue to work for that and bag in a couple goals and give me some returns as the season goes on. But now that Vardy got a brace and he's like 4 points or 4 goals behind, I thought that it'd be best to diversify the money to other assets than to keep Salah. And that's what I did. I went with Martial and Mahrez. I think it's a good decision. I'm hoping it is. I'm also willing to take that risk as I need to make a higher leap in the rankings. But here's the thing too. With Martial, I wanted to triple up on Man U. And since Bruno Fernandez has returned, he's averaging 7.5 points per game. In fact, since Pogba has returned as a starter, he's averaging 12.5 points per game. Now, Bruno has a bigger sample size, so that one might be more trustworthy. But that's still 7 points per game. He's always in the attack. He's listed as a midfielder in FPL, but he's playing as a striker on a very potent Man U attack right now. He has scored an absolutely worldly goal this last week. I needed Martial, and I went for him. I also went with Riyad Mahrez. Now, for me, people are worried about Mahrez, but for me, I'm treating him like stock. I'm buying low and I'm selling high, which is funny because I just talked about Martial, who's at an all-time FPL high. But Mahrez is so dynamic with his left foot. I've talked about this before. I'm a big fan. If he was able to get consistent minutes, he'd be a top 5 FPL player, no doubt. But I want a Man City double up because look at their schedule. Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, Watton, and Norwich. That's how they end the year. And I think that Mahrez is going to deliver going forward. He's a great asset, and I'm glad that I have him on my team now. Those are my 2 transfers I made this week. They're both starting. I still have Son, who, if Salah really is playing well, I can transfer Son out and maybe drop Ings, who's still on my bench, and I'll be able to afford Salah. But Son, I know that people are talking about how he's not looked that good, but as far as FPL, in his last 7 games that he's played, he's only blanked twice. And I know that I talked about it in my other video that with Harry Kane, he doesn't look like the same person. So I am keeping an eye on him, and I might be willing to go Son to Salah later or even Son to Harry Kane. But I want to see what happens this next week with Bournemouth. It's just such a favorable schedule. He's probably the next one on my chopping block, but I have him there. De Bruyne, it was unfortunate he came in the 58th and didn't play so well, but he's the best player in the world. Oh, not the best player in the world, sorry. He's the best midfielder in the world. He's the best player in FPL. He's a set-and-forget player. Now, Bruno Fernandez, he's getting the captaincy armband this week. He has looked so good, especially since Pogba has gotten there. He looks even better. He's got back-to-back 15-point returns. That's even with him giving the penalty kick to Rashford. And it's almost, to me, I'm almost feel stupid for not captaining him for all these weeks. He's involved in almost every Man U attack. He's on set pieces, corners. He's on penalties for the most part. He's shooting like 3.5 times per game since he got into the league. Has like 2.5 attempted assists per game. He's actually, and people were concerned since Pogba's return, how's Bruno going to do? He's averaging himself 11 points per game since Pogba has returned as a starter. Now, I am concerned him going against Aston Villa, which sounds crazy, I know, but since the restart, Aston Villa are only averaging 1.2 goals against them per game, and that includes Wolves, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So I may be concerned, but I think that Man U's offense is just so potent. He's getting a captaincy armband, and I don't think I'm going to turn away from that. Might go Son, but I'm sticking with Fernandez as of right now. So for my front line, as you can see, I've switched from a 3-4-3 to a 3-5-2. My boy Danny Ings is going to be my first sub this week. I still have him. I'm keeping him because I bought him at 6 mil, as I squeaked there. I bought him at 6 mil, and he has Everton and United coming up, which are tough games. But after that, it's Brighton, Bournemouth, and I believe Sheffield. So I want to keep him for the last 3 game weeks. I don't want to lose that value. And I have enough money in my team right now that I can afford to have him first off my bench. I'm keeping Rashford's going to be in the game. He hasn't looked as good, I'll admit, since he's returned from injury in the restart. But last game, he had 2 shots on target, 2 attempted assists. His toenail was offsides, which broke me heart. But I still think he's going to be solid. He's got Aston Villa now. I might switch to Greenwood if he continues to struggle. But I still like him. I still think that he's going to be a solid asset, not just as far as like a top one for Man United, but I think he's going to be a top asset going forward in FPL. And he's got a very favorable schedule going forward. Now for my other striker, I'm going Raul Jimenez. Now I know some people are concerned that he hasn't scored in back-to-back weeks, but to me that shows how great this player really is. That he doesn't score for 2 weeks and people are concerned about him. He is a very solid player. He's very, very clinical in front of goal. He's got a favorable schedule going forward. Now, if he does continue to blank, him and Son are – well, he's not going to be on my chopping block. He's staying put. I'm sticking to it. He's a solid player, and I think this Wolves team is really trying to get in the Champions League, and they only have 5 game weeks to do so. I think they might pull it off, and Raul Jimenez is going to be an absolute necessity for them to do so. So that was my Game Week 34 Plus official team selection. Let me know what you think about my captaincy choice. If you think me getting rid of Salah was insane, which you're probably right, let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe as always. Let me know if the bucket hat should make a return for next game week. Thank you so much for all the love. Good luck in 34 Plus. As always, Don out.